First of all, just want to, give honor to God. Obviously, everyone knows how religious I am, but this is a movement in the right direction for us, spiritually and physically and mentally. And I'm excited about what we have moving forward. We're building something, and the guys are starting to buy in. Even though we're undermanned, we're still finding a way to win, and we're not even anywhere close to being where we want to be. And that's a good sign. This is the first time I've had to build from ground up and just build through November, December, and be ready by January, February, March, because everything is always so high level in these non-conference scheduling games that we feel like if we don't win those, then we failed. But this process now, I've been forced to build slowly, and the process has been pretty cool just watching it.
State your name and affiliation.
Jason Munn's Commercial Appeal. Is there something that you saw today specifically that has given you this reason to say what you just said about we're building something, this is moving in the right direction? Was there something you saw today?
I think it's just understanding my team, understanding what guys are trying to do that weren't trying before, buying into the things that we're asking them to do because it was non-existent from a lot of guys. They were just thinking they could go out there and just win, and it's so hard to win on this level. Now guys are respecting basketball, they're respecting the game, they're playing with the grit and the grind that we all want to see, and that tells me that we're moving in the right direction.
Seems like specifically maybe you're talking about Aaron and Zach that combined for 40 points today. Aaron was a healthy scratch last game, and Zach has been kind of coming on, but like 23 and 15 is different. So what did you think of their performance?
Yeah, those are the two guys besides Hassan Hakeem that I push extremely hard to the point to where I can frustrate them, but it doesn't matter because I know the potential. And Zach Davis, I knew from the beginning that he could put these type numbers up, and he wasn't reaching that level. So it was my job as a point guard, as a head coach and a leader, to keep pushing him. The same way with Aaron Bradshaw. Wasn't reaching his potential, only playing 9 minutes, wasn't in a good headspace. And speaking to these young men off the court, taking them to lunch, having them come up to the office and watch film, it's starting to, they're starting to grasp what I'm saying. And these games only build more confidence. And when you give these guys confidence, then they're different players.
Coach.
Leon Taylor, Go Tigers 247. Coach, you kind of answered my question, but when you watch guys like Aaron Bradshaw and Zach Davis step up to the plate, when you kind of address that effort needs to be here, going forward, what do you think these guys can do going forward? Yeah,
if they stay at this level, then our two toughest players are Hassan Hakeem and Julius Stepford. You add those two guys with these two guys, then you got a front court that's pretty special, or backcourt, however you want to call it, because, Zach is more of a wing, but you got a group of guys that can go out there and compete against anybody's wings and bigs in the country, and we showed that against Purdue and Wake Forest, but definitely against Purdue, being undermanned again in that game. But if these guys continue to keep that level where it is with rebounding and just giving us something offensively, and then you add Julius and Hassan, that's a pretty good four guys right there.
And my last question, the Memphis Tiger football team is about to hire a new coach. What kind of advice can you get to him? Because you're someone that's been in this program and seen the ups and downs within the city and the coach.
First, I would hope that he would know that this is a sports town, and that he knows that this city will love him if he loved them. If he loves them first. Nothing's ever going to be easy, but we have your back. So I'm sure he understands that. When you know this city and you do things around the city to show people that you care, that goes a long way.
Terry.
Hey, your point guard, he doesn't score a lot of points, but he's been more consistent and his offense been flowing. Talk about his growth in development since he first got from game 1 to today.
Yeah, well, Doug he's a qualified PG because he played in the Big 10 and the Big 12. But coming here, it's a totally new system, so he's had to learn it. But to have 17 assists in 2 games is saying that he's elite, and that's what we need him to be. Scoring, yeah, you need that sometimes when you're PG, but you really need them to run the show and set people up and make everyone else better. And right now, he's making other people better and knocking down big shots whenever we need it. So that pressure isn't on him anymore to try to shoulder the load, especially when Aaron and Zach do what they did today, and then a Sincere Parker or Quante Berry can add what they add, and you get Ashton healthy. But yeah, your point guard needs to be a leader, and he's being a leader right now. Defensively, taking the challenge and finding people.
Coach, two things. First thing, congrats on the win. Devin Walker, Grind City Media. First question, at the 3-minute mark of the lane violation, where you cut to the camera, you looked at the sky, put your hands together, said a prayer. What was that prayer you said? And second question is, Coach Drew said athleticism was a problem for y'all. And is that Penny Hardaway basketball?
That is. First of all, I was praying because I was hoping that he'd miss the next one. I mean, that's what that was. Because Simon went in early, and he missed it bad, and he did miss it again, so that was great. But yeah, we got length. We have length, and we're trying to put length on the floor. If you take Doug off the floor, then it goes 6'5" and up, and that's hard to deal with in a lot of areas. That's why I'm really excited about this group. We just have to wind down or narrow down the group that's going to be on the floor. But when you have Simon, Aaron Bradshaw, William Wharton, Zach Davis on the floor with Quante Berry or Sincere Parker, that's a big lineup, right? You can switch 1 through 5 and then you don't get hurt. So at the end of the day, that caused Purdue problems, that caused Wake Forest problems. Obviously, it's caused the team's problems since we've been back from the Bahamas, and that's something that we're going to use in our favor.
Over Tim and then Mark.
Over here, Coach Tim Buckley. How much did you weigh and how concerned were you with delivering the message to Bradshaw the way you did? Because obviously that could have gone either way, and he responded to it well.
Yeah, well, the beauty for me is that I build relationships with these young men, right? And me and Aaron are really close. So I knew what I could do with him. I went to him before the game and I spoke to him. We speak all the time. So I understood what was going to happen out of that what happened today was going to happen, and he wouldn't go the opposite way. So he understands that we have a culture, and the standard is the standard. I know that's cliche or whatever, but he understands that he has to live up to those standards. And when he doesn't, then there's going to be repercussions behind it. And he respects that, and then he responds like this. Then that lets me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because it's not just about basketball with us. Off the court, we're really close.
Parked upon the idea of the Memphian. Penny, it's one thing to come out to a hot start. Y'all did that against Ole Miss, Purdue, and Wake Forest. But I remember in the Bahamas, you said you kind of harped on your frustration with closing games and making winning plays down the stretch. Y'all are down, I think, 8 points with 12 minutes to go there, and the game's tied with 5 to go, and y'all closed. What did it take in the past 2-3 weeks to teach winning, teach closing in those clutch moments?
Yeah, we just talked about, having good habits, and then having your habits have you. Meaning, like, we're in practice every day talking about great habits. And now when you have those great habits and you get into a game, you can close games now. Now you won't make the same mistakes. Now you'll be in the stance. Now you'll be stick hand and mirroring and deflecting balls like we did tonight. Now you'll understand who you're guarding and understanding personnel at the proper time. Don't close out hard on a driver. Run a shooter off the line. We were more in tune with that this week. So it gave me confidence that we were going to come into today's game and play well, because we're starting to do those things. And that's basically the remedy for winning. You have to do those things to disrupt teams every time down and just have those winning habits. And we're starting to have winning habits now.
Roman Cleary, Bluff City Media. It seemed like today the guys, played with the understanding that the margin for error was lower than it was before, and this was just one of the games that they had to have for a lot of reasons. How much do you think that specifically sparked what we saw today overall?
It has a lot to do with it, because I'm keeping everybody aware of what's going on and how we have to be, right? We keep saying the same thing. The standard is the standard. Memphis has been winning before y'all came here, and y'all going to carry on the tradition. And this city, we're the city's team. We're about grit and grind. So if you do that, we can walk away saying, hey, we gave it our all. So as long as we give it our all, we know we're going to have an opportunity to win. And now that everybody's buying into that, we look different, we walk different, we talk differently, and it's starting to feel normal again because those guys are starting. All 15 are starting to buy into that.
Curtis missed his third straight game today with the thigh. Now Thetford sidelined with the knee. And from a long-term standpoint, how concerned are you about those two?
I'm always concerned. Curtis is, that deep thigh bruise. Hassan has had that for a long time, and it takes a while to come back from that. Julius with the hyperextension, he's not really limping much, but I know it's sore. Not really concerned. As long as it wasn't anything that was going to keep them out for months or season ending, knock on wood, then I'm okay. So it's just getting the treatments, staying with that 2 times a day, and then letting nature take its course.
Last two, Colin isn't here.
Colin Cody, WRG. Coach, great win.
Thank you.
With this, I hate to use the word momentum, but how much confidence does this breed, knowing that you guys have this type of victory and can take this on to the road against a top 10 team?
Yeah, it's done a lot for our confidence, right? Because you needed this win. We needed this win. We've been down, but not out, and the guys have been working so hard. So the way they celebrated after the game was like, okay, we can actually take a deep breath and release it all out, because we've been waiting for a game like this to win. We haven't won this type of game this year. We've lost all of those games, and that lets the guys, and that confidence is going to go a long ways, because before you go on the road to play at a rivalry, which is Louisville, Memphis-Louisville is a rivalry, you needed to get some confidence, and today's game was a part of that because Baylor is a really good team.
And lastly, you spoke about Doug and what he did as a leader on the court. When you're watching the game, and obviously Baylor is in that type of zone, and he's a smaller guard playing off the dunker spot, what are you trying to tell him to kind of keep his confidence up as he tries to, get to his spots?
Yeah, I just gave him some clues because, I'm very familiar with zone. Coming from the grassroots, AAU, high school, middle school type, basketball, you play zones all the time. So anybody throwing a zone at me, I look automatically and I understand the reads that are there. So I kind of calm him down, and they did a really good job going from zone to man, and they kind of confused him a little bit. When they went zone, we basically told them the areas to look for, and that helped them out.
Last one here in the front.
Coach Josh Crawford, Baylor Sports Illustrated. With Scott Drew's roster construction similar to your turn over his entire roster, what do you think of this Baylor team so far, especially the 2 wings that they have, potential NBA guys, including the Yesibu and Cameron Carr?
Yeah, I think that, obviously Coach Drew has been there a very long time. Well-coached team, has an unbelievable staff. To be early in the season, to be as well equipped as they are, to be able to change defenses, stay together, move the basketball, be very aggressive. They're playing small ball right now, and they've been winning. And I look at their 2 pros, definite pros, lottery pick type guys on the team. They're going to be okay as the season goes on. They're only going to get better because they're going to learn from their mistakes, and they're going to get better being small ball, understanding what hurts them, and understanding what makes them great. And I just see them being better later. Just keep growing, because when you get a new team, it just takes time.
Now, with Cameron Carr, he's been averaging over 23 points, especially out in Las Vegas at the New Players Festival. What do you think was most effective in slowing him down in terms of ball pressure, just having him worried on open shots?
Yeah, well, that's for us. I think it's the beauty of playing a great non-conference schedule and playing 2 great exhibitions. We've already played against a lot of great scorers, so it didn't really have a shock value on us when we played against Cameron, because we've seen guys on his level already this year. So the guys were ready and up for it, understood what his strengths and his weaknesses were. He's a really good player. You just want him to take tough shots. And with us having this non-conference schedule of playing all these tough teams, we're getting better at playing guys like Cameron. So every game is getting better and better every single time.